Alright, y'all. We are back. Sending the data. Almost. It's just resyncing. 30 seconds. Welcome back, everybody, on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry for that quick switch over. We've been streaming for a while, so we had to just restart OBS. If you are a live streamer that uses OBS, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, we're back on Marco Pinball on Twitch. They're getting their stuff ready. Come on over. Okay, I think we're ready.
This is the rules, just how the tap works.
Yeah.
Not the rules, the actual game, because the rules are fairly simple. It's just Flight 2000 rules. So.
All right, we're ready.
All right.
We're ready? Okay, good to go? All right. Hey, you've got Natalie here with Marco TV. We've got another homebrew to look at. We've got Doug here. Doug, do you mind introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about this table?
I'm Doug Manley. I built the game. It's a Flight 2000 retheme, but there's a lot of extra stuff to it too. As far as I know, it's one of only 3 games that I built that actually dispenses beer when you earn it.
So this actually dispenses beer if you pull this cap down. This is fully functioning, and
It is. Yes.
Yeah, well, not today.
Not
we know
today,
not
because
today.
we can't serve beer here at MGC.
Yeah, kid friendly, just not gonna do that here. So how do you get the free beer? If you get a replay or an extra ball, I mean, how do we qualify for this beer?
It is an extra ball. It uses the same settings that the game originally used in the coin door settings. You can set the level at which you earn an extra ball. Make it easy, make it hard, whatever you want. Once you earn an extra ball, you can also earn a beer.
All that hard work pays off
It does.
after you use that extra ball. Okay, so how long have you been bringing pinball machines to events? Because this isn't your first table, is it?
No.
Okay, all right, so yeah, tell us a little bit about that before we go into game rules on this.
Okay, so I started MGC. I've been taking games here for about 15 years, in all the different spots that they've been to. And I actually brought the other Trilogy game, which was based on Bally Star Trek.
Okay.
So, like I said, I've made 3 of them.
Okay.
The other one was based on Bally Star Trek, and I brought that one here 3 years in a row, I believe 2011, 2012, and 2013.
Okay. What's the significance of the table name, Trilogy? Because you've made a few variations of this.
Yes, so way back when I had my little company, I was making shirts like this.
Okay.
And so that was my t-shirt company, Trilogy, and then I started homebrewing as just a hobby, and so naturally I called my homebrew Trilogy Beer, Trilogy Brewing. And so when I decided to make a game, I wanted to combine my 2 hobbies, making beer and playing pinball, into one thing.
Homebrew.
Yep.
Homebrew.
And pinball.
And pinball, yes, that's very cool. Okay, so what's the hardware that's in this table? Like, how is this running? What is this based off of? I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but for people who haven't seen this table.
So this is still just running the original hardware and software of Flight 2000. It's got the Altec boards in it, but it's just running Flight 2000.
Okay.
And I do have a tap that taps into the switch matrix, which allows me to do custom sounds and music, but unfortunately that's not working today.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that happens. So did you have to build this whole cabinet from
Yes.
scratch? Okay, because I know it has hardware that you're using from it, but how did you build this? What did you build it? Like, tell me a little bit more about this, because it's a really beautiful table, and we'll eventually get closer and you can see all the artwork on it. But I mean, even the box, the design, did you do all of this? Yeah.
Yes. So I had to figure out a way to get a fridge because I wanted it all contained into one unit.
Okay.
So I had to figure out a way to get a fridge into the game. So if I will have to look at the sides, but if you look at the sides of the game, it's like gets very deep at the back. And so that allows me.
Yeah.
Yep. So I had to design that, and so that gives me enough room to have a fridge that slides out the back, and you drop a small 3-gallon keg in there. And so I had to design the cabinet, the back box. Obviously, I had to design that too because the tapper's in the middle. This is solid. There's lights behind here.
Yep.
But all your electronics is accessed from the back side. The panel just opens up.
Okay.
So kind of like an older EM, you'd access it from the back side versus removing the glass from the front and accessing your electronics that way.
Have you ever seen a table designed like this before? I mean, how did you figure out how you needed to make this custom build to fit what it is you were seeking to do?
I just kind of winged it. Took some measurements. I never really even drew a plan. I just kind of started building. It was all in my head.
Okay.
And so, like I said, I built the first one. It was about 2010 I started it. Finished like 2011. And that one, I learned some stuff like what I did wrong, what I could do better. And so that's why I decided to make this one based on Flight 2000. And Flight 2000 was a perfect choice because it's not only wider than your average pinball machine, it's also longer.
Okay.
So that gave me that much more room to put the fridge in there. And I was also able to get a hold of 2 Flight 2000 games. So I actually made 2 that are exactly like this.
Really? Oh, you have like 2 models of this?
I have 2 models. The other one is at Pinball Life. Terry bought it from me.
Okay.
And it's not white wood like this. It's a red stain on it. So that one is red, and it's got gold trim on it. So it's kind of its own thing, too.
Okay, wow. That's really cool. Okay, so let's talk about some of the design on this because it's really pretty. There's a lot. Did you tell me it was hand painted?
Yeah, like hand painted and using stencils and airbrushing, like a lot of freehand airbrushing, a lot of freehand drawing, but also like using the stencils with the airbrush too. Everything is painted. There's no decals on it at all.
It's really pretty. Where'd you come up with the concept for the artwork or what you were going to put on the table? Because I know you talked about Trilogy and that was kind of, the Homebrew brand, but like what made you come up with the concept you wanted for the design of this table? Because it's really so beautiful when you look at it.
So I knew I wanted hops because it's an important part in the brewing process. So like I got the hop vine growing there. A lot of this stuff is also just kind of like the sword and the shield. That was just kind of one of the designs I did for like one of my shirts like years ago. So that kind of transferred over, and then the 2 minks I used in one of my shirt logos, and so I just wanted to incorporate it into the game. The solar eclipse is another like artwork that I had done and used it on a shirt.
Yes, so this was actually the first thing I noticed when I was really looking. I mean, yes, the hops is gorgeous, but I loved all the sculpt. When I looked closer, I just knew that was I'm like, that's not a stamp, that's not a style. I'm like, this is really nice. I just think it's well done. It's really pretty.
Yeah, so all the skulls are done with like a stencil that has all the different, it's called a freehand stencil.
Okay.
And it's just got like a bunch of little skulls on it. You can move them around and choose the skulls that you like and just airbrush them in wherever you want. So like you can see I use those in just various areas where I thought they'd look kind of nice. And like kind of the brickwork and the barrels all like just kind of hand painted.
Where did you get the barrels? I can't tell. I'm always like picking out who's 3D printing stuff or who bought pieces. So.
Okay, so my friend Scott printed me all the barrels.
Okay, so it is 3D printed.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
And he also printed me that. The barrel.
I didn't notice it the first time when I looked at it because you painted it and you did such a good job painting it. It kind of masked that, it's really nice. I'm really glad I asked you that. That was a later thought I had after looking at this table too. Yeah, it's really nice. It's pretty because all the little barrels on when you look at it, I was like, are those printed? That's all 3D printed too? Yep. It's really nice.
That was Scott Denisi did all that for me.
Oh, really? Okay, that's all very nice. Did you have any problems when you designed them with how it played on the playfield, like the ball when it was moving? Were there any adjustments you had to make after adapting that?
I didn't really notice any, but like as soon as I got the game, I tore it down and started right away. So I have nothing to really compare it to, but like I've played other Flight 2000s and I don't really notice a difference because the rubber is still in the same area, and the way that he designed it, it's still the same width as what like a star post or like a concentric ring post would be. So
sure.
All the rubbers are in the same locations.
That's cool.
So I highly doubt you'd notice a difference, but maybe like somebody that's really, really like into Flight 2000 might notice a little bit of.
Okay,
difference,
yeah,
but
sure.
I doubt it.
Cool.
And the plastics, I drew the plastics out, and then I had my friend Andrew Barney,
okay.
laser cut me all the plastics for that. And then I painted the plastics. I had to do reverse because the painting is on the back side.
Oh.
So, for example, like for this piece here,
yes,
the red had to be done first,
okay.
then the silver, then the black. Versus like here, it's black, then silver, then I could put whatever else I want on top of
okay,
it.
so so you had to flip
Yep.
the order of operations depending on where it was going,
Yep.
for how you were gonna do
Yep.
it. And did you think about that ahead of time? You like, or was that was a good, pre-planned? It wasn't oh no, I got all this cut, now I did it wrong? Or?
Yeah, no, it was pre-planned. I knew I had to do the artwork on the back side, and I knew I was going to have to do it reverse. And I'm just a hobby artist. I don't have any formal training, or I was high school. I took all the art classes I could, and that's about it. That's my only training in art. So
wow, it's beautiful. Like honestly, this is one of the most. I don't know if I've ever seen like a hand painted table like this. Like it's gorgeous. I love, like this is like one of the most like. I don't know how to compare it. Like, it's like one of the most beautiful cakes you'd ever see, right? Like, I don't know. It's just the way it's done. It's beautiful. It's elegant. And it's just well done. And it's really cool that those came from t-shirt designs. And I didn't know that. That's awesome. Can I play a game? Will you
Absolutely.
maybe do you want to do 2-player? Tell
Sure.
me a little bit about it.
Start
2-player?
Yep.
Yeah? All right. You want to be player 1? Or?
Player 2.
Okay, cool.
Because I think you're going to be better than me. So I'm not very great at pinball either.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'm very good either. So I'm going to assume I'm shooting around up here. Wait, skill shot? Wait, did we talk about this? Is there a skill shot?
Well, not necessarily, no, because it has to roll through one of those. Like, it can't go anywhere other than that. So it's just going to go through there.
Okay.
So there really isn't a skill shot.
Okay. I always, that's always my first question, because you never know.
Now, at this point, for ball 2, you might consider a skill shot because you don't want to get the one that you've already unlit.
Okay.
You want to try to get, because
Sure.
by unlighting these, you're lighting it up over there.
Okay.
So you want to unlight the lit shots and light them up over there.
Unlight lit shots to light up over there.
Yes.
Okay, and I want to hit the flashing target.
Yep.
Plays nice, very nice and smooth. Actually swap me this way, yeah. Those targets have the same skull that's in that design. In the Eclipse, I think you said it was.
Yep.
That's nice. That was a nice placement for the skulls. I like that.
There it is, walking it through because the 2 balls are locked already. And now to qualify the 3rd lock, like I said, you've got to get you got to get all the letters spelled and then complete the drops, and then you can qualify your 3rd lock to get the multi-ball.
You got an extra ball, it looks like, right? You were player 2?
I guess I did, yeah.
Congratulations.
I guess
your
it's set
beer.
really, really low. I guess I had a party last time and left it really low so that everybody got a beer.
Oh,
So I would have
okay.
earned a beer already.
Yeah, 1 beer earned. We need a little counter. Beers earned, 1.
Oh.
I love I can't get over the 3D printed barrels. Honestly, like that was so sneaky. I didn't notice the first time I looked at it. That was really good. Okay, so I want to hit the. I want to hit the. I want to unlight the lid shop.
Yep. So
and
you want
light
to
that
you want to
side.
roll over the lights and down here too.
Okay.
And the flashing drop also spots one of the letters too.
Oh, and no ball save,
No ball
right?
save, nope.
So that was an unforgiving ball. Good thing I'm a ball-free player.
A lot of these, classic solid state games, they can be a ball-free game. You
That's
need
right.
one good ball.
That's right. Did you have to use any different types of legs to account for the weight of this table for the machine?
I did not. I used the rib ones versus the Stern would have had like a non-rib, but I think the rib adds a little bit of strength.
Okay.
But if it can hold up like something like a Hobbit, I think this weighs probably less than like a Hobbit or like a Wizard of Oz.
Okay, I was actually going to ask you weight-wise, how
I think
different was this from existing pins?
If it's good enough for them, those are the same legs they use, so like they got heavy games.
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool that you designed an add-on like that though, but there was it just was that's really cool.
Thank you.
And you did it on I just did it and it worked. That's awesome. That's really impressive. And how's the beer that you brew, by the way? What kind of beer is it?
I typically like to do oatmeal stout and Scottish ale are my two favorites. I really prefer beers that are like malt forward. Oh, and you got an extra ball too.
Oh, yay! I just got a beer. Natalie, beer, 1. Yeah, beer count. We're 1-1 right now. That feels really cool. I don't know how many games I could say my beer count's 1-1.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. I really like the concept. Where do you want to where do you want to see these pins? You said someone bought them. But do you want this to be like in breweries? What's kind of what would be your
cool.
driving force?
Boy, I don't know. A brewery would be cool. Ideally, I believe it's like a novelty item where somebody has a party and they serve beer out of it or something. If it were in a home location.
Yeah.
That's what I would see it being used for. Have your friends over, put a 3-gallon keg in there, and try to drink all night, right?
Yeah, that's it's awesome. And the lights that you added above the tap is really nice. What kind of lights are those? Are those the same lights that you use in the pinball machine?
Yep, those are just the reflector spotlights. You'll see them on other games, on the playfield. You'll see them on
that's
there.
That's exactly what I thought it was.
Yep.
I wasn't sure. I was like, oh no, maybe it's just a little tiny recessed light. No, I thought so. I'm like, all right. I've seen that Godzilla. They aim the spotlight right towards the building. Yeah. Yep. Okay,
So that's
cool.
all it is. Just a lot of pinball parts, a lot of repurposed. Oh, stuff like that.
Is this a pinball piece too?
No, actually, I made this out of metal.
Okay.
And so, and that's actually malted barley.
Okay.
And it's encased in a plastic thing, so obviously
It's good forever.
It's good forever. And I made this as well, not the grade itself, but the actual this is metal too.
Okay.
So I did a lot of welding to create stuff like this and like that. And if we do take a look at the inside, you'll see the carriage that I have for the fridge is a custom welded carriage that allows the fridge to hold itself.
Okay. I think we should be able to pull it out to look at it.
Or we can lift up the playfield and just look at it that way too, without
Oh sure, yeah, absolutely. Oh look, and you even have Trilogy right here.
Yep. So that's another Scotch and EC.
That's 3D printed.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And then with the add-on of the programming for the sounds and running the tap and running the topper and everything. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, sorry. So the sounds, the tap, all that programming, my brother-in-law, Kevin Bong, he did all that. So he did the add-on programming for the additional items. So
he did the add-on programming for that.
Yeah. To make you earn a beer and to run the topper.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about how that's incorporated for it to,
That's run on a Raspberry Pi.
That's run on Raspberry Pi?
Yes.
Did he have issue? Do you know? Was he like, oh, not this again? Did he take a lot? Was it a trial and error?
It was difficult because when he was trying to sense the switches, apparently there's a lot of noise that's just constantly there that he's like had to deal with, and it was tough for him to figure out how to program it to actually like sense switches. So
I've heard that Raspberry Pi might actually be kind of hard to like work with some with pinball machines. There was another table earlier too, and they talked about doing their topper with like a Raspberry Pi. But so I was surprised when you were like Raspberry Pi. I'm like, wow, that must have been like a bit of a headache in a good way once it was finished.
What he did was way above my head.
Yeah.
So like, I couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have made it serve beer, but not where you earn it, because like it could be completely separate where it just taps beer all the time. But I wanted it incorporated into the game, and I couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah, that's really cool. It makes such a difference for it to be tight, and I'm glad you went that additional mile for that. That's really cool. Let's pop the tape. Yeah, like, do you want to pull that up so we can look at the guts?
Yep.
How much of like the keg would we be able to see from this? I mean, is it hard? Or is that all behind?
We should be able to like. The fridge slides out from the back, but you'll be able to see the fridge once I lift the plate field.
Yeah, I want to see that. I couldn't stop staring at the design. Now that you told me that you did that shape, I don't even think I would have noticed that off at first glance, and I can't believe I didn't, but it's really cool. It's really nice how you did that.
Oh, and since we're talking about t-shirts, like this t-shirt here, that's another like design is right up there, so.
I thought that looked similar, yeah. That's really cool. And even Trilogy is on that barrel.
Yep, printed right on the barrel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's awesome that that's raised, but then the Trilogy that's on the beer tap is cut out. That's really cool.
So I'm actually going to turn it off when we lift the plate field, just because the high voltage of the coil.
Sure, yeah, safety first. Let's get real.
And then I need somewhere that I can set the glass where it won't explode.
Do you want me to like
or I
just put it on my foot? I was literally going to do the same thing.
Okay. Now, if you want to lift the plate field,
oh god.
so you can just grab it by the apron.
Okay.
It's a little bit flexy, but it'll go up.
Okay.
And then, you know where the prop rods are? On the side there.
Here?
Right side.
I don't know what. Oh yeah. Okay.
Right there.
Uh-huh.
So a little bit higher with the play field. There we go. You can set it down. It's gonna go a little bit crooked. That's just what they all do. It's fine. It'll stay. It's fine. I know. Like at some point they started putting 2 prop rods in to prevent that from happening. But this has the one.
All right. All right.
So that's the fridge, and then like you'll see like the underkit. This is like the carriage, the metal framework that I made. And then you'll see, like, those are sliders.
I can see that. It'll pull out. Yeah, back there, just like a little drawer. Look at this. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, keep talking. Sorry.
It'll completely pull out the whole back, so you can service anything. You can adjust your gas pressure there. And you're usually serving at around, like, 3 to 5 PSI. So, like, let's say you got a little bit too high and it's coming out a little bit too fast. You can turn it down just by sliding it out the back, turn it down. And then the fridge, I actually have a lock on it, so you can slide it all the way in fully and lock it so it can't be accessed.
That's so cool. I can't believe you came up with that much extra space to like fit that in there. It's really awesome. And and I can see your logo on top too, right there, Trilogy.
Yep.
It's everywhere.
And I even did custom coil wrappers.
What? Of course you did. Look at that. So, I mean, but it makes sense though, because if you're propping up the table, I mean, why not?
Right.
That's really cool. That is really, really cool. I think your artistic design really adds a special flair to this. I mean, it's so cool because, one, never seen this before, but just the level of detail, like, even behind the scenes, you still wanted to make it so beautiful from the inside out, and I think that's amazing. This is really impressive. Good work.
Thank you.
Are you planning on doing more tables in the future?
I am. I've got another retheme.
Okay.
But that retheme will be P-Rocked.
Okay.
So it'll have custom rules.
Okay.
But the one I'm currently working on is, so Scott Denisi, when he built Total Nuclear Annihilation, he used a cabinet from a Dolly Parton.
Okay.
I got the rest of the parts from that Dolly Parton. And
Okay.
I'm turning it into a game based on a band I really like called Subhumans,
Okay.
which is a punk band from 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
They're still playing today, but a lot of people haven't heard of them. But so that's what I'm retheming that game into, and maybe
Cool.
next year that'll be here because I'm hoping to have it done by then.
Awesome. That's really cool. Will that one serve beer?
No, it won't.
Okay.
It'll just play punk music.
Well, it's actually pretty cool too. So, all right, worth it. Very cool. Thank you for
Oh,
showing
yeah.
like the guts of this. All right,
No problem.
I don't want to keep that on your foot forever.
Yep. So it's slide that down in there.
Yeah. Eh. Eh. Okay.
Yep. Oh.
Nothing broke. That's good. All right.
Yep.
That is. Okay. Yep. Cool.
Go between the pins, so I go between the two.
Between those. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Doug, thank you for showing us inside, outside. This table was beautiful. I hope everybody comes down to check this out. Well, if you bring a new pin next year, that's going to be tough. People might request this. It's beautiful. I can't wait to see what you have next year, and thank you for showing me this. It's so awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Cool. Good? Yeah. I love it.
I cannot believe that that will actually serve beer. That's amazing. Wow, am I really laggy right now? I think OBS is just like, you've been on all day, we're dying. But I think next, maybe we'll get Ed Owens over here. He's somewhere back in this area. And to go check out his Ghost in the Shell. Oh, wow. Definitely laggy, right? My webcam's dying. All right, y'all. We're going to cut away and be right back. Thanks, Doug. All right, almost ready. You guys can go ahead and go up there. Did you fix it, you think? Some distortion. It seems fixed? Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was really laggy. I did have some weird issue earlier. I need an audio tech. Hold on. All right, you guys are good.
Cool.
Are we live?
Um, yeah. Are we? Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I think
okay.
so. Yeah. Okay. Hi, you've got Natalie here with Marco TV, and I've got Ed here, who's got this fabulous Ghost in the Shell machine. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and this table's design?
All right. Well, myself, I'm a tinkerer, always at heart. Always was taking apart things and breaking things growing up, and now I'm learning to fix them. I've always, probably for about 20 years, I've been into the arcade hobby, building my own arcade game at home just out of scrap parts, and fixing and learning about pinball in general. And I currently went through a job change, so I'm working for Victory Glass, helping manage that company, and I haven't done a lot of work on Ghost in the Shell in the last probably 6 months, but it's still a work in progress, as with any of our homebrew games here. It's never done as a project.
Sure.
The game is based on the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, not really the movie series. That's more of the TV series, the standalone complex of Series 1. And so that's when basing the art and the style and the storyline, also known as the Laughing Man project, where the Laughing Man incident, where you're chasing the Laughing Man, and that's going to be one of my modes, actually trying to chase him and hit the shots, kind of like a popular pinball.
Okay. How many shows have you brought this table to? And was this your first homebrew?
This is my first homebrew, but before I did this, I did what's called a retheme. So, and not really what Trilogy did, where Doug with Trilogy, he took an existing table and he changed the art, he changed it, but he kind of leaves some things alone, like the shots. I did a retheme of a big game into the Stern big game into Greyhounds to Race Home, because I also work with retired racing greyhounds, and have 2 puppies at home. And I do like to bring that to shows right now, because April is National Adopt a X Racing Greyhound Month, where I have games operated at District 1 Brewery in Stevens Point. My game is there. Any money that goes in it, I'm matching, and I'm actually going to donate to GPA Wisconsin.
Oh, that's amazing. I really love that. I have an Italian Greyhound. I know it's not the same, but I love the breed. And I love that you do that.
Yeah, Italians are so cute.
Yes.
It's like when mine was a puppy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's just good. Oh, that's really nice.
And my youngest is the dude, and my oldest is Zephyr.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
So I did that, but and when I did it, the technology wasn't there to build something like this. And
what technology is that? Was that
the multimorphic hardware?
Okay.
The support network, because when I got into pinball, there was the news group Rec Game Pinball. If you're ever into pinball and you hear someone talk about the RGP days, it's a news group where you used to. Right now, you can go to Facebook, you can go to message boards, all this stuff. Then that was it for networking, just like the KLOV formed. And with Rec Game Pinball, there wasn't as much of a homebrew community. And what happened was, all started with Scott Nisi for me. He built TNA, and I'm sitting there talking to him. I'm like, oh man, I always wanted to build a homebrew, but I just like finding the cabinet, the software, the framework is huge.
That's what I was going to ask. What do we have for the guts? So keep going.
So,
Sorry.
and the hardware, the physical hardware, because the physical shots and stuff, you can find that off of the game. So I'm running multi-morphic hardware, P3 Rock.
Okay.
And then the software is Skeleton Games.
Okay.
The other one right there.
Yeah.
And the other one is Mission Pinball that people use. I use Skeleton. They're both great frameworks.
Okay.
And that's because my help network was people like Scott Canisa that was also using Skeleton. So what happened was that he pulled me aside with TNA, and that the year that it was announced that it was going to be built, he's the rock star at that show. You can't even get to him. I mentioned that he pulls aside and says, hey, you got to do this. Here's how to get information. You contact me with help. And it just takes one person to really kick you. So, all right, the hardware's available, the software's available, the support network's available. Okay, I need a cabinet.
Yeah.
At that year, Aerosmith was released. And, and this is at MGC, all at MGC.
This is all at MGC? I love that.
Yep.
Okay, great.
So Aerosmith was released.
Okay.
Aerosmith from Stern had some problems with their cabinets. They were splitting. And my friend Tom bought an Aerosmith, and it was the show game there. So Aerosmith, that game was on the floor. Now, he actually had some splitting issues, and he got a new cabinet under warranty. So he puts up on our Wisconsin group, hey, I got this cabinet. I took all the stuff out of it. It's just a wooden cabinet from Aerosmith. If anyone wants to give me $50, I'm like, heck yeah. So I got the cabinet, I got support network, the hardware, the framework. I bought that. So my Ghost in the Shell has been to every single MGC since 1 year before it was Ghost in the Shell.
Really?
Because of cabinet.
Right, sure, right. That makes sense.
Yeah. And what I did is I didn't get a back box or hinges, but you know, I went out there saying I'm trying to build this game.
Yeah.
And I need the side rails and the hinges. And a guy named Doug posted, oh, I just got new side rails and hinges for my Metallica. You can have them for a 6-pack of good beer. I'm like, okay, well, I found a 6-pack of good beer, actually 2. I met him down at the Pinball Light Party at Expo, and we traded some parts, and that's really where the one part about this is it's a sub-community. It is a group of people. You can try to get us to compete against each other. We still pat each other on the back, like when the creator of Metroid, Mark, when he got his job, when Randy got his job, it's like, oh man, that's awesome. Like Scott, we work together. And
so did you 3D print that, or is that something that Scott 3D printed for you? 'Cause I'm hearing
actually,
a lot. I'm learning more about how connected you guys are as a community, and I think it's awesome. So now I'm like, so who printed that?
I do have a 3D printer at home, which is kind of a crappy, just like prototyping. A friend of mine who made a Van Halen homebrew, it's not here this year, Joe Zenkis.
Okay.
He is just, I mean, he's a great resource. He helped me out, and he actually 3D printed, painted that, and mailed it to me. And what I did is I said, hey, I want to have these speaker grills.
I noticed that too,
and I said I want it in this purple, and Joe makes pinball mods for other people.
Okay.
So one of the mods that he made is a lamp post for Simpsons.
Okay.
And it has a bunch of that purple stuff. So I said, this is what I want. He's like, I got to do some reworking. I want it layered like this. And he did all the CAD work, all the printing, mailed them up to me, and blacked it out. And it's just like, he's just a great resource. And the other thing he did is we worked on getting the adapters to get those balls for the back.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the Pinball Life GI lights, the RGB, and the balls are from like a Monster Bash and Scared Stiff.
Okay.
So Dennis Norman games, of course. And I told him, hey, I need this thing. I want to put this light through a hole and this to snap on. I drew it up and I have my calipers. I made my measurements and I sent him a picture. And then he's like, oh yeah, I could design that up in no time. I'll get it to you sometime. 5 minutes later, I get the file.
Okay.
So I print the file, and it's a small file. I printed it in clear. I had a printer all set up in 10 minutes or less. So within 15 minutes of me contacting him, I had the part in my game.
Wow.
So it's just a lot of fun having this community to work off of. And that's one example of what we did. And you guys may be aware of Jack Danger with Dead Flip. I worked with him too on wiring, and the good thing about him is he's been such a sounding voice for the homebrew community.
Okay.
So when knowing his energy he put behind it, I contacted him and said, hey, you need help wiring, let me help you. And he helped me design my score overlay off of once again a crappy pencil drawing, and he like took what was in my head and just did it better than I was thinking of it. And so it's been a lot of fun things like that. Like I showed people how to make the rails, and someone else showed me how to do this. And
yeah.
It's just it's a great community with that.
And who painted? I mean, this looks like this is painted.
That's
right?
hand painted by my mother-in-law.
Really?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I gave her the cover art from Solid State Society standalone complex. I said, hey, why don't you paint this up there? Eventually, this is going to be clear with organic aluminum base cut out. It's going to be layered. I got all the metal in the base, but I just need to make it.
Okay, so you do have future designs for this table. So
this table is designed in CAD with all the inserts. I need to add 2 switches up there. It's ready to be printed with inserts or cut with inserts with just a few tweaks. I've been saying for the last year, next show we'll have a new playfield. Well,
sure.
I added these inserts right before MGC was supposed to happen in 2020.
Okay.
And that kind of stopped progress on it. I did do some extra stuff. I picked up this apron at Pinball Life, and I have.
Oh yeah.
These both are backlit, but when you're playing and you get a warning, that turns red. That's your double warning. And then when you tilt out, you know how you are doing with tilting.
Okay, now I love that. Are there a lot of tables that have that? Any of the flashing to warn you? Or, I mean, I don't know if
it's starting to show up. I believe Halloween has some lights in the outlane.
Okay, I love that.
But I wanted to have, when you're looking down and
you
playing,
don't have to look up at the screen.
I don't want to look up there. When I'm playing and looking down, I want to know how many warnings I have, because we all know we're going to do a lot of big moves.
That's right, it's called knowing your limits. Yeah.
Right, and I got a concrete basement.
Yeah.
So I move my games like, I have Ghostbusters Premium. I move that into my skee ball machine all the time. Like I was gonna buy new powder coated legs and armor for it. I'm like, no, not even bother. I'm gonna chip the crap out of it.
That's really cool. Can I play a game?
Yes, you can.
Do you want to do 2-player, 1-player? Do you want to talk me through it at least? What do you want to do? What do you have?
We can do 2-player, and I can show you some shots. So if you notice, so this whole framework is what Scott Denisi designed, or that's Jack Danger drew all this up, and we actually have background. So yeah, Jack Danger helped draw all this up, and we actually have background concepts that are going to pop in.
So I saw that little guy right there, right here, I think, yeah?
That's the Laughing Man.
Okay.
So this is your story mode progress, cyborg mode progress. Cyborg is when you hit the target, you actually see it light up which ones you have to hit.
Okay.
And then I also have some stuff that's going to pop up here for some extra that are not programmed in yet.
Okay.
So you notice you're green and green.
Oh yeah, I can see green and green.
When you started the game, it went green.
Green, okay. Green, and...
So it's an almost a full plunge, because you can make this ramp both directions.
Okay.
So this ramp, you go underneath, that's one ramp, or you go forward, it's the other ramp. And both ramps will deliver it to your left flipper, or your right flipper.
Okay. All right, that was not a full plunge. Wow.
There's a ball save.
Thank goodness.
Right here is your multi-ball lock mode. So you want to try to hit that curly cue down. There you go. You got one lock.
Let's roll.
Wow. Oh, I knew. My brain. Cool. One ball locked. I'm happy with that.
All right. I'll try to hit some ramps and shots, so. that is me losing the ball right away, but that is the skill shot.
Oh, okay, so skill shot is that way.
It is slightly less than a full plunge.
Okay. And does it matter which way, which ramp you shoot, or either is a skill shot?
It does actually if you're in certain modes. So I know which direction you hit it.
Ah, okay,
So
depending on the mode.
There's the mode that that left scoop is lit. If you hit that scoop, you enter a collect the team mode.
Okay.
So you want to assemble the team. To do that, you have to hit it forward like 8 times and reverse 3. 3
Okay.
times collects the tachikomas. The forward collects each of the team members.
Okay.
So.
Almost a full plunge. There it is.
Let's roll. Let's roll on.
Just kidding. Oh, I think I got a warning. Oh, there it is. I see the flashing red. That's really cool.
Now you're going to get an extra ball.
Oh, yeah.
It's Centaur-like rules where you get an extra ball for no good reason.
I was going to ask, how did I qualify for that? But the second you said that, I know Centaur, and I know when that's happened to me. Oh,
So,
and I
yeah,
wasted
it doesn't change the rules at all, but it just kind of makes it more fun. You tilted.
Tilted.
So when you complete the drop targets, you get. Oh, you gave me a tilt warning too. When you complete the drop targets, it gives you an extra ball. So you can keep on doing that to get more balls on the play field.
Okay.
But I get a lot of complaints because one of my first pinball machine was hot tip.
Okay.
You have to actually ricochet off of the pop bumper to hit the G. So what I did is, because that's a hard shot to hit, once you have 4 down, if you hit an in lane, you get the 5th, and it automatically resets and gives you that ball.
Okay.
So I'm up. Hopefully I can do better than 920. This is my game.
Let's roll.
There we go. I got my 1 lock.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't go too much.
So I noticed cyborg. I noticed that shows up on the screen when you hit one of the letters.
Yeah.
It fills in that color that the target that you hit.
You're trying to spell out cyborg.
Yeah.
And then you get a cyborg battle. Eventually, there's going to be 9 battles. They're going to get harder.
Okay.
And like the first battle, you just have to hit the ramp. The second battle, you're going to have to do something else. And so the cyborg battles are kind of like, you play like Ghostbusters. You have your story mode.
Yeah.
That's all there really is. And you play other games, and it's
Cool.
just like more Bally EM. So what I'm doing is I'm giving you like 3 different things you can really work towards. You can work towards your multi-ball and try to
Yeah.
get a super jackpot, which will
Yeah.
be one of your 3 requirements to wizard mode.
Okay.
You can complete the story mode by completing modes and going through the storyline.
Yep.
Or you can complete the cyborg battles and defeat all the cyborgs.
Which there'll be 9, right? Is that what you said?
Right, I'm thinking 9, that may be too many because it's
Okay.
hard to hit.
Okay.
But with right now, I think like Jack Danger is like the 3rd cyborg mode right now.
Okay. Extra ball. How do I get that? Is there?
I did not program it in yet.
Okay. Nope. That's okay. There is
See
no
the
extra
chunk of wood
ball.
right there? That's not a light. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
So, how many seconds does the ball save on this pin? Because if there's no light, I need to know what I'm working with.
I think it's like 9 seconds.
Oh, that's legit. Okay. Second ball left. I'll take it.
The biggest thing that turned out really well on this is the ramp going forward and backwards. It's really the focal point of it.
It is really cool. What made you want to do that design? What?
Originally, I did everything on paper.
Yeah.
So originally, it was going to have an upper playfield that was going to be like 1/3 of everything.
Okay.
And it was going to have that ramp come up and have like a post.
Well,
originally I was going to have a post and have the upper plate go higher, so that when you hit that, you hit the post and you redirect it to the top over on the top. But as I started building, realizing that's not possible, I still kind of just morphed into that. And the only area I had completely open, I didn't know what to do, was down here. And I was going to put a flipper in there. I was going to do like a spinning disc like Tron. Spinning disc kind of seemed overdone. I just said put a pop in, a couple bands in there, and let it create its own action with only one pop.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I actually even have a Gottlieb kicker target I was going to put over here to kind of kick it in.
Oh yeah, sure. But it doesn't need it.
No,
it doesn't. I don't disagree. You're right. You're totally right and spot on that. I really like how the use of space you have with that, having the 2 lanes. It's really like, it's a nice, like, it's a really nice design for that. Like,
Thank you. I also wanted to fool the player.
it is. If you didn't tell me, I don't think I would have known. I would have been like, what happened?
Generally, a pinball player, like, I'm going to shoot for the left orbit. That's not the left orbit.
Yeah.
The spinner shot is the left orbit. So this is I originally was calling it a vertical orbit, because it would come back to the right flipper. The spinner shot, kind of like what they did in Giant Mnemonic for the right spinner.
Okay.
It comes around, so it took a little bit to get that angles right. I kind of like it so that spinner will come all the way around to this side cleanly to the left flipper.
That's really cool. I like that because everybody's going to expect a certain type of, oh, well, it's going to have a standard of this, this, and this. No, it don't. I love that. That's a nice curveball. I really like that. That's so unique. I really do. Like, yes, the more I thought about it, it's a really cool. It's a really, compact, efficient, but like unique and not necessarily compact, but it just doesn't take up a lot of space with what you've done there, and I like that.
And on the upper play field, I got the lock shot. These are your super jackpot times.
Oh, okay.
So multi-ball,
Yeah.
You know, play field and hit that.
Oh, those two.
Stand up.
Yep.
They're upside
Okay.
down. The funny thing is,
Yeah.
the Stern guys
Yeah.
playing my game at Expo said, "Hey, we're about to release a game that does that exact same thing," and then Black Knight Soda Rage came out. I'm like, huh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then if you miss, you got thermal optic camo shots. So if anyone wants to show, that's when they go invisible.
Okay.
That shot is kind of not lit, it's not marked.
Yeah,
It's never
it's
going to be marked. So if you hit it, you actually double the value of the scoop.
And-
that hits a subway that comes down to here as well.
okay. I think I saw the ball. Maybe I don't know if I did that on a ball, but I thought something I wasn't expecting. Well, it's always fun. You don't know where to anticipate where the ball's going to come from, though, especially the first couple times you're playing it. But that's really cool. I like
And
that.
then if you miss that, you actually.
Something's wrong with your mic. Can you just hold this one for the rest of the interview and just kind of go back?
Yep. Yeah, sure.
And then the shot to the left of it, that wire form, which actually will dump on my main ramp. That shot actually is just a haha, you missed a shot. It gives you no points, tells you a bad joke.
What joke?
I wonder if the robot geishas are going to ask for a pay raise. That's from the first episode of Stan
Okay,
Lowe.
sure,
And
sure.
everybody except for the guy that says it just rolls their eyes.
That's really, it's really interesting. I love this. This is really interesting. I'm glad I know about this a lot more because I didn't. And you know, if I actually opened my eyes and looked for a second, did you write a lot? You wrote a lot of your table rules for this table that we can display.
Yeah, I tried to make the cards be as informative. Now they're a little bit outdated.
Sure.
Like the multi-ball lock used to be a physical lock that would curly cue up, but it just didn't work out too well. It was breaking itself. It had too much force. So there's a lot of changes that were made. So this is a little outdated, but you know, what game you play has these up to date with the code update. So I figure that's all right with the way it is. And I even got TNA plastics made for my inlays, outlays.
Wow. It's really cool. I love hearing the story of how a lot of these pieces you put together to build this. It's a really interesting story. The more that you're talking about it and the more I'm learning about it, like, it's really cool. I can't wait to play this again. Like, I can't, yes. And whether or not you make the updates or whatever for the next show, like, we don't care. We just want to keep playing this and learning more about it.
Thank you. I want to do some mode updates right now. Originally, you have to complete the drop targets to light mode, but I was thinking about the most recent Ghostbusters update, how it's so hard to get into the first mode. So I made it so you can get to the first mode, but I only have one story mode written. So I need to write the second story mode, because when someone does that and they get into the couple cyborg battles, like, what more is there? There's nothing right now. So if I can write another story mode or two and maybe get that ladder partially built, that would make me feel better, because And face it, I need lights to write story modes. That's why I got those lights in there. But in reality, no one's going to play this game to the extent to play the entire game at a show. So I have to keep it semi-simple to understand. And my shots are hard enough that I think, getting into multi-ball or a story mode or something for average pinball players, pretty a good challenge for the person. But you get those good players that are going to play for 20 minutes on this, I need to give them something too.
That's really cool. I'm excited to, I'm going to be playing this more and learning more about the. It's really nice. I know some of it's simple, but it's not. And I mean, even like looking at what you do have on here is really pretty.
In our arm blades?
Those are really nice.
A friend of mine, Martin, designed them for me, and before Expo this last year, I called up Justin, and I'm like, can you some way run these on the printer and laminate them for me? And he got them and handed them to me at the show. So I took my playfield out and put them on.
So you're gonna go, was that the same show that you got? What was it, the Monster parts? Or wait, no, was it another the Lades? Okay, but was it at the same show?
No, those parts I did at home.
Okay.
But it's really the story is, I mean, even in this circle of games, almost everybody in this circle has helped me with my game, and it's been rhetorical as well. So it's a lot of people. I mean, being next to Trilogy Brewing and having other guys in the circle that we're even just mentally running ideas by. Chris over here with the dumpster fire. He actually, based on a conversation, that's how between me and him, that's how it got its name.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, we bounce off of each other, and that's the biggest part about this hobby, or this as a hobby, is the community that we have built over the last 2018, since I brought this to the first show, which was in this room.
That's really cool. This is a really awesome group. Like, I really love this little niche that you have going on here, and it's great. Thank you. I really appreciate, the time you took to tell me about the table and all the facets and the stories. It's really cool, and I look forward to seeing this in the future and what changes are going to be made with this group of people.
When you're off camera and not under pressure, then you can play them all about 20 more times.
Yeah, I know, and I can play the ball a lot better too, and I'm not thinking about what I want. Yeah, absolutely. So
Right.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't get distracted when playing either, when people aren't like working on my pocket or like my wires.
Yeah, I know, right? On ball 3.
Right. Ball 3, let me see.
Yeah, I know, that was most unfortunate. I wish there was like a mulligan extra ball right there, just for if you knew.
I did take out the button that was right here in Aerosmith.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, maybe I should put that back in. I was gonna make it like a USB drive so you can like pretend to plug your head in like in the show.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But I decided it's a lot easier just to cover it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Come check out this game and play. Read the rules. It's on the table. You can see what it's all about.
Thank you very much, and thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Wow. Why didn't you guys say anything in the chat? My mic's up here. You don't even hear me. Sheesh. All right. We got one more pin left. It's Dumpster Fire. This is a little bit different than what we've seen so far. Let's get some set up. This is Christopher Graham's masterpiece. Yeah, Dumpster Fire, exactly. Oh, am I actually muted? No, I'm not muted. I just had my thing flipped up. We've been streaming for like forever. This is all we're doing today. It's 4:17. Walt, for us. Thank you. Um, I'm gonna put these on the chart. I think they're like dying, maybe.
Okay, so we can't really, take a break until they charge.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's charge.
I feel like I'm taking way too long. I'm sorry.
Dude, you're doing great. You're doing great. Everyone's loving it. We're all loving it, right, chat? This is Natalie's first time interviewing on Marco TV. I'm talking to the chat and telling.
Can they hear what I'm saying?
Oh, they can hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's great.
I'm talking too much.
She's not. They like everything they're seeing. Yeah. She was nervous at first, but she's doing awesome. See, look, Tracy says you are doing great. Shell Shock is happy. It's good stuff. All right, we're gonna point the camera away and give us a few moments, and we will get to the next homebrew. Thanks, y'all. Having fun here. What's up, everybody? We're back. We are waiting for Chris Graham to come over for Dumpster Fire. And then we're also going to check out Castlevania Pinball. You might have seen that running around in the circuit as well, both of those. So stay tuned. Hope y'all are enjoying the show. Okay, Chris said he's ready, and then we'll just ask Chris. Yeah. The other guy. So, with that being said, I'm going to pull this power cord and walk it around that way, and you can rerun the power over the dumpster. All right, don't throw up. We're going to migrate again. Actually, wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm so hungry. Oh my gosh. All right, we're almost ready. Am I muted? No. What's up, some Cali dude and Turin and Chrome Candy Pinball? We are at the Homebrew section at Midwest Gaming Live, interviewing each of the Homebrew pinball machines. So earlier we interviewed Ryan McQuaid with Sonic Spinball, Kelly Cochran with Undertale, Matt Benzik with Motor City Pinball, Doug, I forget your last name, with Legacy. It's been a long day. Ed Owens with Ghost in the Shell. Doug's Pinball Machine, most memorable. It pumps out beer. It's crazy. So at the end of the stream, you guys can watch the archives on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Marco Pinball. And right now we are getting ready to check out some dumpster fire. Let's take a quick look. Oh, just kidding. Not yet. Take a quick look. He's getting it ready. So this is a virtual pin, but Chris has, not but take but out of my vocabulary. This is a virtual pin. Chris has a lot of great stories about it. So it'll be a very fun and engaging interview. And then afterwards, we will check out the last pinball machine, which is Castlevania. All right, hold on. All right, almost ready.
Promised to sell him something, and I may not have it. I don't know what I did with my two other passes.
Oh no. Mic check. Good check. Battery, please don't die. Oh no, what is that? Check, 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 check. Check. Check, check. Hello. Wow. I think the actual lavalier mic part, but the receiver is working. You just have to hold it up super tight. What if I just clip it here? Yeah, that might work. Chris talks loud. All right, hold on, yeah. Mic for you.
Thank you.
This is really exciting. This is the next generation right here.
Yeah.
It's also cool to see it through your eyes too. You get the fresh perspective and everything.
This looks like it was in a dumpster fire.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Well,
I feel bad. I'm like, ah.
Yes.
No, I'm
They got
I'm
Todd
concerned
Tucky
about
on here.
art in it.
fact,
So
you know
like
what I
that,
did
the
to
more
get
knowledge I
that?
get, like it's
I
just
actually
I'm
emailed
seeing
him
all the layers,
and
but
sent
again,
it.
like I'm so new to the
Then I
industry, I'm just
scanned
I'm
it,
still, you
and
know,
I
I
put it
can't
on
stop
here.
asking questions,
Todd
and some of
loved
them are
it.
probably stupid just because of the basic
So,
knowledge I don't
we
have.
had
but
a
yeah.
lot of fun
I
with
can't
that.
wait.
And then, of course,
I can't wait to
Aquaman.
like keep learning more.
Yeah.
That's what I really like about this community. I was like,
We've got
Despite,
ET
like,
back
maybe,
here, Best
like-
of Backyard Wrestling, Batman Dark Tomorrow, which was
yeah.
so there's all sorts of
What I
little
love
inside
most
jokes.
is just how
Link for the
special this
CDI,
community is. Yeah.
which is an obscure one, but it's the only awful Zelda game that was
I don't
ever
know.
made. They let a third party do it, and it has all sorts of really bad animations and that kind of stuff.
What year was that?
What is that?
Like 92 or 93. Yeah. When you were like 3.
I was 7.
Okay, you're not that young.
It's really nice. It's really refreshing.
All right, Joe. How do they sound? Okay.
A few bad actors. We
Oh, Animoto.
Oh, this. You want me on
It used to have Jack's trading card on it, but it doesn't anymore.
this side? Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if it. Yeah.
Have I ever said I don't get these? I get the purpose of them being a lavalier. I used to work in production, but those are so much easier. I mean, they're like the easiest thing in the world to use,
Yeah.
and these are just clunky. But I get it. They're not that expensive. I'm Christopher, by the way.
You're Christopher?
Yes.
I'm Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
It's nice to meet you. Wait,
Nice
this
to
is going
meet
the
you,
wrong
too.
way. We're good?
We're on?
Okay.
Hi, kids.
Hi, you got Natalie here from Marco TV, and we've got, mind introducing yourself?
Christopher Wells Graham.
Okay, very good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
I'm
meet you as
excited
well.
to ask about this table.
Mhm.
First off, I'm gonna go kind of really basic before I get like into your more details. The name.
The name of the
dumpster
game
fire.
is the dumpster fire, and it's called that because it's a virtual pen that I have made out of 80 to 90% recycled material. So it happened on accident, and then it just dawned on me that I did that. It started with wood that came from a Portello's construction site.
Okay.
Okay, so they were getting done with their construction work. They had scaffolding wood, and I went and asked the foreman. I said, "Hey, could I have some wood?" And he said, "Sure, go right ahead."
Okay.
Then little things like the monitors. The monitors are, a lot of e-waste goes out all the time, and for whatever reason in the Twin Cities area, you'll get perfectly good HD TVs for free that are just sitting around. Got this guy off of Craigslist. This one right here I actually found in South Minneapolis, not too far away from where all the trouble happened a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And all that was wrong with it was that the backlit LEDs needed to be repaired. Inside the computer, the computers are used and old and all sorts of stuff. There are things you obviously can't get in a dumpster. I'm not going to find addressable LEDs,
Sure.
which those will eventually make a really cool light show.
Yeah.
But I did find that at a surplus store, and then these just ended up, these are like beacons that you have in a warehouse.
Okay.
And the beacons will go and, you know, just fire off if you're taking a forklift down or something like that. And somebody was giving away a whole box of them. So unfortunately, I have a whole lot more
Okay.
in my house. But yes, speakers inside the car. There are 2 Pioneer home car speakers inside
Okay.
there.
Okay.
They were also gotten at a thrift store. There's a 5.1 digital surround. So my game does something that Stern, Jersey Jack, or any of the other manufacturers don't do, which is digital surround sound that's only been around for 25 years. So there are little actuators in there that'll actually make some noise and clicks
Okay.
and that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I've had so many issues and I just didn't get it done for this particular show.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's been overly fun, and then when I bring these to shows, all of the games that are playable on this, to not infringe on any IP that belongs to any of our friends around us, I just bring homebrew games. So this game right here is a new one called Blood Machine. Now, Blood Machine is based on an actual IP that they got permission from the filmmaker to use. It's an independent horror movie. I don't know a whole lot about it beyond it was on one of the streaming services that specializes in horror. But the coolest part about it is, and you won't be able to see this on camera, but if you go and you look this up, there's a spaceship in the background here. Now that's not just the spaceship, that's the one that was used in the movie. So they were able to import the 3D model into the game and have it available for that. So this is the real motion picture assets, and I think she is as well. And they did it with full permission of the filmmaker. He participated, so it was just kind of fun.
Very cool. That's really cool. I love that. Yes, that is a really cool thing to like know. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's pretty much the origin of the dumpster fire.
Okay.
And yeah.
Wow, all the recycled parts. So was this a TV?
Yes, this is a I believe it's a 48-inch LCD television.
And I know you said you had to replace I think you said the backlight in it or something.
So what happened? Yeah. So I had to take it apart, and then there are underneath it there are light strips.
Yeah.
Similar to those.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's what lights the television. So it's an LCD panel.
Yeah.
And when I got it home, I took a flashlight to it and looked around, and it looked perfect.
Yeah.
There is one minor imperfection line. That's a resistor issue. I can either replace the board, or I can fix the board, or find out what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if or when I would do that.
And then did you just like take I'm just wondering, like, did you take I'm just trying to like envision, was there like something like boxing around the screen that you took off? I mean, how did you get like a TV? I don't know, never mind.
Yeah, I can't quickly take it out.
Yeah, no,
but
it's okay.
underneath this, it looks very similar to an actual legitimate pinball game. So underneath it, there is once again a wood frame.
Yep. Okay.
That is made once again out of recycled construction wood.
Very cool.
And then I can lift it up just similar to any other machine and work underneath there and all that kind of stuff. The computer is actually on a drawer system on the back.
Okay.
So I can actually, from the back, pull the computer out.
Okay.
And make it work from there. So it is fun. But the thing that's interesting is, as much as this is a pinball machine, and I'll explain the virtual pin, my opinion of virtual pin in a second. The only pinball parts on this are the glass that came out of either a Judge Dredd or a Star Trek The Next Generation. It was one of the super wide bodies.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know Judge Dredd's a wide,
Yeah. And then the legs came off of a Joker poker. And then I added
wheels?
I added wheels. But even like little things like the wiring and a lot of the internal electronics came from surplus stores.
Okay.
So we have this great surplus store in Minneapolis called Axeman. It's a St. Paul institution. And you can go in and get things. In fact, to connect it to pinball, when Gottlieb went out of business, a lot of their surplus went up to this particular store. And there's a Chicago company that's a little bit older. I can't remember, it's like American Science Surplus or something like that. very similar company, but yeah, they get a lot of oddball things. So you're able to get things like,
Yeah.
you know, Molex connectors and this, that, and the other thing. So you're able to, you know, get the parts that you need. So it's been a real education. I've pretty much given myself an engineering degree.
Okay, so how many shows have you brought has this, when did you make this pin?
This pin, I started making it in 2017.
Okay.
The first show I brought it to was
Yeah.
here in 2018.
Okay.
Or no, 2019, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So 2019, it didn't have a name. It was very bare bones box and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so I was like talking to Ed Owens, who you'll be interviewing, you either did or will.
Ghost in the Shell?
Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, very
You
cool.
did. So Ed Owens, I put it next to mine and I explained what I did with it.
Yeah.
And he suggested, hey, why don't you call it the dumpster dive? And of course, you know how that works. You get told something. It's like
Yeah.
the little kid in the circle.
Yeah.
By the time the story makes its way around again, it's Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Okay, yes.
So by the time I walked around the theater, the venue, it had been named the Dumpster Fire because I thought it was a fun way of poking fun at your Pinsiders or your Canadas, or sorry, Canada. I like to pronounce it correctly. But anyways, long story short, that was just what I found fun. So it became this whole thing, and then it's actually become a kind of a brand for what I do on these things. I've got two other games. This game right here, and can you see this, Emoto? This game right here, this is a actual arcade game from 1980. This was created originally by Century and then released by Game Plan Inc. Now, it was a total bomb, so there's not a lot I know about it beyond the fact that I couldn't find anything out. And once I found it was an oddball cabinet that had been converted multiple times, I thought it would be fun to do a restore of Killer Comic.
Yeah.
But the reality is nothing exists for this thing. I was
Okay.
only able to find one piece, one control panel and one marquee out of a company in Canada, and the guy would never return my emails or calls. So what I did is I took JPEGs, very small, low resolution JPEGs, and recreated all of the arts, including the control panel, and then Emoto, go down here. I actually had to take a picture of the original stencil. Right now it's stickers, but I'm planning, you don't need to bend down, but you can see it right here, the little comet and the ship, and I was able to take a picture of it, vectorize it, and then turn it into this restore. And so you've got that right here, and it's fun. And the thing is, this game only exists in Maine. I cannot find an actual original PCB board for it. So if I was going to show it off, I have to show it off in an emulator.
And I see the Dell monitor now
The
that
Dell
I've gotten
monitor.
closer to it.
And once again, the same theory.
Yeah.
The computer was the original computer that was in that when I brought it in 2019.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Twin Doors got from there.
Sorry.
Yeah. There's some soda down there, and then over there, and we won't make Emoto move the camera any more than we have to. Over there, I have a game called the Dumpster Golden Tee Golf.
Oh,
What
okay. yes.
that is it is a throwaway Golden Tee cabinet that an operator was getting rid of. And what I did is I went and each part of it is made out of recycled stuff. The television came from a friend of my mother's when she was moving into a nursing home.
Okay.
Okay. The obviously the cabinet itself is recycled, and then it runs on a Jack's Pacific plug and play that I wired with actual arcade hardware so that you can play true Golden Tee, and it's a great version of Golden Tee as well. They were able to condense this thing to like 50 megabytes or something like that. I can't remember the exact number. But they were able to take 3 levels from Golden Tee Live and a pinball connection. It's the only game that I have here that has George Gomez's name in it, because his name is in the credits because he helped, I guess, develop the Golden Tee Live system, which they still use until either this year. I don't know if they redid the engine or whatever, but so it's just kind of a fun thing, and like I said, it's become a brand.
Yeah, the
So,
dumpster line.
Yeah, I because this one was so rare, I
Yeah.
kept it Killer Comet because no one would know what the hell.
Sure, right.
They would think the dumpster Killer Comet meant I programmed this thing, and I didn't. So I wanted to do the restore of it. So
Sure.
lots of fun.
I'm just looking at this up close, I noticed those are all,
Yeah, that's just laser
fun.
printer stuff. And then Adobe Reader has the ability, and I actually found out about this while watching Colorado Pinball on Twitch, but they have the ability to take a poster image and condense it into individual standard pages, and then you just put it together like a collage. And you
That's
go
really
from there.
cool. It's really nice. How many is this your first pinball machine that you've done?
It is my first pinball machine. This thing can literally, if I wanted to, and I will not say if I did or do or do not because of copyright reasons.
Sure.
This thing can play thousands of games.
Sure.
It plays all the games from Zen Pinball, which may very well be the largest pinball company in the world, because you have to think with the the Pinball Effects software, they sell a crap load of units. And it might, I don't know exactly, because I'm not their bookkeeper, nor will I look at their books, but they're a huge manufacturer. If they're not as big or bigger than Stern, I would say they're probably the second biggest pinball company in existence, just based on how many games they make. They have licenses with everybody, and it's a fun thing.
So what issues have you run into while using this table? Like, have you had to fix it, like, wiring, or was this put together all on one go and it was just...
No, this took many iterations. You're probably looking at maybe the 5th or 6th iteration of it.
Okay.
So when I brought it here in 2019, it had a different playfield monitor.
Okay.
It was a LCD one, and it had this just huge bezel around the edge. Once again, got used. I bought it used off of Craigslist because I didn't want to spend a ton of money.
Yeah.
And it was very laggy, and it had a very slow computer, a 2-core computer, which I had been out of gaming for a long time. And so I didn't realize that computers had like 8 cores and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I upgraded that after the 2016 one, and then after Pinball Expo 2019, I brought it home. I'm sorry, not the 2016, the 2019 Pinball Expo, I upgraded the computer. Then I brought it home, and I put the monitor on the unit, and I got a phone call. So I went to take the phone call, not thinking that it was quite heavy, because it was quite heavy, and it fell off and smashed into a million pieces.
Oh, okay.
So then I had to, that was when I went ahead and fixed the LCD on this one, and it turned out to be even better.
Yeah.
So now it has a 4-core, not a real modern i5, it's like 2nd or 3rd gen, I can't remember, but it works just fine, and computers haven't really changed dramatically in 10 years.
Sure.
They just more flashy numbers, more this, more that. So, and it plays pretty well. The other issue that it had early was lag. A lot of that was due to the processor.
Okay.
So I upgraded the processor, the video card. I recommend going, if anybody's going to start a project like this on a budget, try to find at least a 4-core PC, and then find a 2 gigabyte graphics card, which is difficult now because of Bitcoin mining and all of that kind of hoo-ha and that kind of stuff. But yeah, overall, it's a fun project,
So so I'm trying to wrap my head around this because this is such an interesting design, and so I'm trying to make sure I understand the flow of this.
Okay.
So it's a computer that's running this. Like,
yes.
What and what software is being used while you're running this, or what?
There are several
engine?
softwares. One that I spoke of earlier was Zen's Pinball Effects.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
That is extremely popular. They just came out with their new version, which is on the Unreal gaming engine, which many of the manufacturers around here would probably be smart for using something like Unreal or Unity. Then from there are a couple of hobbyist softwares. The most popular is the one that this game is running on, and that's called Visual Pinball. Visual Pinball is currently on version 10. VPX, yeah. And it's called VPX because it's version 10 point whatever, 10.7.
Sure.
So VPX is the software that runs this.
Yep.
Then there is another one that unfortunately got abandoned in the late 2000s called Future Pinball. But some people have gone in and kind of done forensic coding and kind of figured it out, and they've made it into something that they call BAM. It's called Best Arcade Machine version of it, which modernizes it, allows it to run a little bit better. better physics, better bouncing balls, all that kind of stuff.
It makes it apply to like a more realistic movement
More
to
realistic
an actual
movement to an
pinball
actual
machine
pinball
with
machine.
contact with whatever it is you're putting on the playfield.
Absolutely. Well,
Okay.
and visual VPX does the same thing. This has tilt on it.
Okay.
So if you need to get,
Is
like
that-
the ball is going down the drain, you can hit it, and there is an accelerometer in there,
I was
and that
gonna
moves.
ask what. Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask what picks that up.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's what picks it up, and you know, there's a wealth of fun to be had with this. A lot of the purists, and I'm not one of those. I don't care. I will put an LCD monitor in an old arcade game. You know why? Because they're available and they work. I just want to have fun. And what I equate this to is I'm a big baseball fan. And
Okay.
when a baseball player goes up to the plate,
Yeah.
what you don't realize is they have actually, between the time the last game and their first at bat of the next game, they've gone into the batting cage. And that batting cage has a pitching machine. The pitching machine will just throw. And it's about repetition. It's about getting in your swings. It's about understanding where the ball is going to come.
Yeah.
To me, visual or virtual pin or digital pin or whatever you want to call it is the batting cage equivalent to standard pinball. I'm not a very good player, and when I play this enough, I get better at those when I go into it, and the little things like the physics and the shots being in a similar place, and that's one of the reasons why I have the monitor lower. So a lot of other builders will have the monitor be
Right. Yep, you're right.
flush with it.
Sure.
And the monitor being further down adds to the visual illusion.
I can see that. Yes, absolutely.
And those type of things. So it's a lot of work, and then even to the extent of this, I had it set up really, really nicely. Then 2 weeks ago, nothing would load. So this
Okay.
thing has been pretty much down since Pinball Expo.
Okay.
So I haven't really used it much in 6 months. I had to rebuild the back box. The wood split, so I
Okay.
had to go in and do some forensic drilling.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't really get much time to get the thing really down, and so I had to reinstall Windows. Now it kind of looks like I'm going to have to reinstall Windows again because there's a weird thing that's happening with it that I can't explain. It's not letting the mouse show up, which is a very important part of it.
Sure.
So there's always something. I don't program games myself.
Okay, I was going to ask if you were looking at a lot of code for this.
I am not a coder. I'm a filmmaker by trade,
Okay.
but I'm also an MBA and a few other things. So I'm fascinated with this as a business model and an idea, because I think that there's something to be said, especially for people who might be living in New York City, let's say in a one-bedroom apartment, and they want to have pinball in the house. Well, you don't have a basement like you have in
That's right.
Minneapolis.
That's right.
So you're not going to be able to have a massive arcade.
You can't have that big collection.
No.
Right.
And it really is a tier of the market that I think the other manufacturers, I can understand Jersey Jack or American not, because they don't have a huge back catalog of games, and that's what you need to do it. But Stern did partner with Pinball Arcade, which is another popular software. I don't know what's happening with that software because they just seem to have abandoned it. I don't know if the company's gone out of business or whatever situation, but yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had with it, and that's my thing. I like having fun. You know?
So it's interesting that you say like filmmaking is, kind of like you kind of created like a shadow box effect. Is that the right phrasing
Yes,
to use?
yes.
And for visually and aesthetics, you're thinking about that from an angle
Oh,
or a
absolutely.
lens, and you've kind of made this. I like your explanation for
Yeah.
it because it makes total sense. And you're right about learning. So I use, personally myself, like. I call it saving quarters. I use some of the apps they have on the phone. They're not great. Like I know
Sure.
you've talked about the physics. I can tell you a lot about that, but you know what I've memorized? The screens.
Yeah.
So I don't have to look up while I'm playing, right?
Yeah.
So you can at least you're right, there's some takeaways,
And
the
you can-
shots, the
and
angles,
even though-
knowing where to qualify.
Yeah,
like what exists for this?
Yeah, Medieval Madness is a perfectly good example. I played that in Pinball Arcade on my phone
Yeah.
before I really actually played a real one, and I got to the knowing which place to shoot and what things happen
Yeah.
here. I'm not any good at it.
Yeah, but you know when the trolls
I
are
had
gonna
it-
pop up.
And that's just it. And I sat down about a year ago, some stream was doing Attack from Mars.
Okay.
And I have an Attack from Mars on this.
Yeah.
From I think Pinball Effects. And I sat and I put Attack from Mars up, and somehow or another I got 6 billion. I don't know how I got 6 billion, and
Yeah.
I know that's a game that you pretty much plunge and you get 1 billion. But I was able to get that, and then when I play it in real, you know, I at least know, hey, I want to shoot for the trolls. I want to shoot for the monster or whatever. And it also is a great way of game preservation, because there are a lot of arcade companies and pinball manufacturers are as guilty of this as anything. Much like Game Plan made pinballs. They did not sell very well. There are not a lot of them around, and there's not a lot of them that are available for you to go and play. Now, there's simple rules, simple mechanics, but even companies like Gottlieb or, you know, these ones that have come and gone, obscure European makers, like some of those odd ones that you run into at Pinball Expo,
Right.
you can experience in this, and you get the opportunity to play them. And that's always a thing that I'm, you know, for.
Yeah.
Is
It's still capturing the spirit of this.
Absolutely. It's making sure that games exist. And that's the big thing. But much like with Killer Comet doesn't exist
Yeah.
if not for me. There's a lot of even games that are unreleased. There's one over there that would not exist if somebody had not taken a board and downloaded the ROMs.
Right.
And so there are
Wait,
benefits.
so they like will download the ROMs and like push, like, you know, put the code out in an open source spot for people to be able to use?
Absolutely. So they will take and they will go on an old pinball machine. We'll
Yeah.
use a theoretical pinball machine.
Sure.
And they will take the chips out and actually dump the data onto the chips, because that's all the chips are.
Yeah.
All the chips
it's
are
data.
is
yeah, sure.
it's
Flash drive, USB,
yeah, it's,
whatever,
it's,
sure,
it's
whatever
memory,
you call it.
yeah,
That's right.
hard drive, whatever you want
Yeah.
to say.
RAM
it's just,
is memory.
It's where it's stored, and that's just a matter of, and then they will make it work, and that's one of the things that PinMain does, is it will take those and make them work. And like I said, sometimes it's the only way you can see it. Some of
Yeah.
these games are so obscure and so rare
Yeah.
that, and I'm not talking about the
Right,
stuff.
you have to go to this event, like that's once a year, right, to go play this, right?
Absolutely. And it saves me a boatload of money.
Yeah.
And you know, and so those are the benefits of it.
They're asking for some gameplay.
We can give you gameplay.
I'm gonna come on this side.
So
Okay.
do you,
Stand on that side.
So I don't really know much about this
I was
game.
going to ask you,
Okay.
I'm not going to ask you table rules, but I guess really what I'm focusing on is what you've connected and put together to play this design, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So this one does need a quarter.
Okay.
So you'd hit the quarter button.
Yeah.
It looks like it's in the middle of a game that somebody left go.
Okay.
But so for example, I don't do analog plunge. You can get real plungers that will work with this. But this one, you got to hold on to the button,
Yeah.
listen for the sound of the spring going back, and then release the spring-o-matic. And you're able to do some very innovative things. There's a super talented designer named Scott Wick, who has done several games. He did a Stranger Things game before the Stern version came out. Okay, so now you're back.
Okay.
So it does have to reload itself, much
Okay.
like it would with real pinball. But he made a Harry Potter game that has an eye that will follow you around the playfield, and then also a dragon that will shoot fire out. And so you can do some wacky things that you can't do because, you know, physical pinball is real, and you know, this allows you to go from there. I think you killed yourself.
Okay, so
let's-
it was mid-game, right? So
Yeah,
then,
it was
yeah.
mid-game, so we got out of that one.
Okay.
So you go from there. So let's do a tutorial of
Okay.
how some of these work.
Sure.
So what I did is I made the coin door your start button.
Yeah.
So for some of the games, and it's not all of them, and thank you, Emoto, not all of them you have to give a credit. So you just press the credit reject button,
Yeah.
and you'll hear a coin.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you have your thing. Then you go from here,
Yeah.
and you can hit start. So then the game starts. And I'll release it. And then you start playing your pinball game. Now, I do have contactors and solenoids in here. They aren't working yet. So eventually you're going to have shaker motors and all this kind of stuff. And I remembered a prop I brought with me. But you'll see here, now I've got the ball cradled, and I'm intentionally cradling it. So, Emoto, if you wouldn't mind focusing in on the flippers. Hi,
okay.
hi. I think about pinball, and I'm sleep fatigued. So, okay, are you good? Okay.
Whoa.
So, you see
Hold
that?
on, do that again, wide shot.
Okay. Let me go again. Okay, I've got it there.
Yeah.
I want to shake it,
Wow.
and then I drink. So it's
Yeah.
and it's not bad as far as that's concerned. Some games are better than others, but that's as much the programmers as it is anything.
Is that the same bit that reads the tilt, like the same piece
Reads
of?
the tilt, reads the everything in there. I do have a tilt bob in here.
Okay.
I don't know if it works.
Okay.
So I guess I'm like some other pinball streamer that doesn't like tilt bobs.
Do you mind?
Go right ahead.
So my eyes are adjusting to something like
Well,
this.
and it
'cause
is hard with the reflective light and how dark this particular machine is.
I call it calibrating. You know, it's any table, right? How do I use the button when that?
That's a
it
good
looks-
question. I don't think I have that hooked up right
Okay.
now.
Both flippers? Nothing.
Yeah. Why don't we do this, Emoto?
Oh, it's shot. It's cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's shot. Okay.
Yeah, we're cool.
So, and you saw the little laser
I
effect.
sure
That's
did.
something that's very difficult to do in a real machine. The technology is out there to do it. You have it to an extent with things like multi-morphic, but I don't know if the implementation is always as good as it could be.
Sure.
But there's so much more with technology now than it was. I mean, you go to a baseball stadium, they've got scoreboards that are as big as the house you grew up in. You know, whereas they used to only be about the size of the Bust-A-Move that's over there. You know, it's really interesting to say the least.
Both.
But let me do this. I am going to unload this game and I'm going to load another one real quick. So
Okay.
then everybody can see what my thing. So normally I run this under a front end called Pinball X.
Okay.
There's also another one that's very popular called Pinup Player. And this next game that I'm going to show
Okay.
uses Pinup Player in just an absolutely brilliant way.
Okay.
So I'm just going to exit out of this.
That's very cool.
Okay.
Okay.
And then from here, I'm going to tell it to load my next game. Now this game I actually premiered at Pinball Expo in 2019. And this is probably the most logical of the Harry Potter books to make a pinball game based on, because the Goblet of Fire was only about, in the storyline in the movies and in the book, was only about what, you know, a game. So they had to go through the series of the wizarding trials of Harry Potter. And you'll see some things in here, and they do what other designers do. Now this is Scott Wick's game. This is Orbital Pin.
Wow, the lighting on this looks amazing. Like
It's
just seeing
really-
like the way that it's done, it's like glow. Just yeah, it's really crisp.
And it utilizes this pup player, and I think we've lost Emoto, so I'll just raise the camera here for a second. Emoto, I don't want to break your camera. I want to show the back box. Okay, so we'll start it up here.
Okay.
And you'll see some of the fun things that you have here. So basically, and he had to give credit to Eric for this, basically from here on down, it's Pirates of the Caribbean. It's the same ramp here as well. So you click it off and you see Harry goes flying. Okay, now you see Mad Eye Moody's eye, and you'll see your Potters are already lit up. So there's things that are familiar with traditional pinball.
Cool. I'm gonna go around right here. Yeah.
Let me see, and of course I won't know how to play this now because I haven't played this in a while. But you'll see here is Mad Eye Moody's spell box, and now normally you would be hearing some music and some video effects. I don't know what's going on with this. And this game actually even has a mini game in it. So I can't think of what the term is, but what will happen is if you hit this target enough, it will go into the mini game, and it's basically a Harry Potter version of Defender. So it's this, or no, I'm sorry, Asteroids. So, okay, so I have right now lit all of Potter. and I can go to the mode it'll go to, and it'll give me a random mode. Okay, I've hit it. So now I've got to hit the Death Eaters, like in Medieval Madness.
I was just gonna say those remind me of the trolls.
Yes.
How funny.
And then look at and then this is one of the things that we'll show on the next playthrough. So you can see here,
Yeah.
Hub Player allows you to make a very Jersey Jack-esque backbox thing that will show clips from the movies.
Yeah.
Now, why does this game not get made as a real game? Licensing. Always comes down to that. Why does Willy Wonka not have musical sequences from the movies that you love? It's all due to media rights licensing. That's one of the things that's fun about Homebrew, is since we're not asking for permission, we can go and do things that you would normally not see. And since he's not making a profit on it, there's no big deal, to doing it. And so you'll see here, you see the winks and the blinks and the flashes. Now right here is Mad Eye's potion. Let me see here if I can get into that. Let me see if I can hit the... Okay, you saw the dragon lighting fire there?
Sure did.
Okay, so I'm trying to start another mode, but I'm not doing a very good job of it. And then, there we go. We went into like with Pirates of the Caribbean, we went into the little hole. And it might be a little bit more bouncy.
And that's really cool, though, that you did that, though, with the, the concept.
This is a remarkably good table. This, I don't care what anybody says. This is as good a table as a lot of commercially made. It's complete. The rules are deep and fun. And the more you get into it, the more you go into things. So like, for example, there's a wand here.
Can I play? Can I
Go
see
right
this?
ahead.
I'm curious to see if the flipper response is the same between games. This is quicker than the other game, I think. It feels a little quicker.
Yes, it does. It's also
responsive. A lot
it's
more
been out.
responsive.
It's been out a little bit longer.
Do I hold the
hold the plunger button,
okay,
so it'll have to.
I'm gonna see if there's a super skill shot, right? If you hold
Yes,
down
the
the
skill
left
shot
lever.
is
What is it?
you shoot the ball out.
Yeah.
So you shoot it up, and then if you hit this flipper and it goes around, then you'll get the skill shot. Then the super skill shot is if you hit one of the ramps.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, I also know this game a lot better because I've played a crap load of it. But you'll see there's a magnet right there.
I was just about to ask you if that was a magnet.
Yes,
I just
and then
noticed
look at Mad Eye Moody's lab, and it
Okay.
lights up. And believe it or not, something like that is accomplishable in standard pinball because it's just
Sure.
lights. So you'd need a Lazy Susan that has a light going into it, and then something that comes up. But I'm not an engineer, so I don't know how to do any of that crap.
This is really quick. This is way
Yeah, this
different
is-
than the last game.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to switch games so I could show you.
But I'm glad that we did both because that was what I was curious was to see how is the other game going to play. See, I'm kind of looking more at the aspect of this itself. I mean, yes, this game I love this. Like this is really cool, but like your design, your box, I wanted to see. Yeah, this is really cool. I was curious to see how play over play is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can really appreciate that.
And those are the things that go into it, and then you get to experience a wonderful game like this.
Oh my gosh, that's Harry Potter out of Nimbus 2000. Oh
Yeah, he's on his
my
plane,
gosh,
he's
yes.
on his broom, and he flies up. And yes, did he steal stuff? He might as well. Yesimoto.
We just got Justin from Castlevania here.
Oh, very good.
Want to start wrapping it up?
That is just fine.
Yeah.
I can. If you didn't notice, you can pull my string and I will talk forever. I used to be a radio guy, so I can do that. But anyways, this is the dumpster fire
Very cool.
the dumpster games, and I am working on. And see here, look, you'll have your whole thing.
It's very cool.
Put yourself up as a high score for your whopping million.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go right ahead.
What do the same button, same concept?
I believe it's yes.
Cool.
Are these games that anyone can download on
Yes, there are several sites out on the internet. What I would suggest doing is taking a first look at vpforms.com and then also vpuniverse.com. Those are the more popular large aggregators of tables. Scott Wick's stuff is available at orbitalpin.com, I believe. Just Google Orbital Pin, you'll find him. He also produced a game that's on the At Games Legend called Pizza Time.
Okay.
And then The Leprechaun King.
Okay.
And then he also did his own version of Stranger Things.
Okay. Wow. Very
So,
cool.
Very neat.
Yeah, this is very cool. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Natalie.
Thank you
No
so much
problem.
for walking me through this. This is a
No
pleasure. This is a
problem.
really, really cool, really cool toy.
I've done this a bit or two before, and Moto gets a kick out of it that I worked on G4 TV's X-Play back in 2008. I was their post-production coordinator, and I've worked on a bunch of shows from Hell's Kitchen to America's Next Top Model to Deal or No Deal, and a bunch of garbage you'd never heard of before.
Wow.
So, yes, but Emoto likes the G4 because she was the only one watching.
Did you watch it?
No, she's what you're I'm not going to ask you your age on stream. Thank you, everybody. Please check it out. If you want to find out anything more about this, I don't have a good way of you getting a hold of me, but I'm Jabber Arug on Twitch. If you want to say hi to me on Twitch, and that's
Cool.
what we've got here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Appreciate
Natalie.
it.
Appreciate it.
All right, that was an awesome interview with Jabba with his dumpster fire. Oh, look, Turin! You love G4 and X-Play. Finally, someone else who knows about that show. Adam Sessler, man. It was so good. All right, we have one more pinball machine left. Justin is here. We're going to do our last shimmy rotation back around to Castlevania. So hang on tight. Nice. Got a nice little homebrew background. If I stand here. Yeah, there you go. All right, y'all. Looks like Jack Danger Incognito. He is here. Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, Jack Danger is here. Activate 554 if you're here. Feel free to video bomb us. Photo bomb. Alright, there's a kid playing Castlevania right here. Oh, just kidding. Why do I always do that? Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Bloop. Yeah. Alright, this is the last pinball machine in this epic wheel of homebrew games. Castlevania. I've seen this around at Expo several years. And the first time I saw it was in 2019. The wood backboard. It's not a glass. It's awesome. You guys can go ahead and jump up there. Oh, I need to get you your mic. He's like, we don't get to hear you. There you go. So Natalie, you can go on that side. Justin on that side. Oh, it's so shiny. All right.
Yeah, I know. She'll tell me, right? I'm new to all of this, so I'm just yeah, really enjoying it.
Yes, I can talk. How's the sound? All right.
Yeah, testing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, we good? Hey, you've got Natalie here with Marco TV, and we have Justin, who has this excellent machine that we're going to learn more about because you've probably never seen it before. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
My name's Justin. I work at Pinball Life. And
Okay.
I spent a lot of time making this. It took about 2 years to design, make a couple renditions of it, and get to the state it's in now. So it's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get it here.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears?
Yeah, the challenges.
Okay, so how many shows have you brought this table to? I do want to ask about the challenges too.
How many shows?
Yeah, is this the first?
No, this is probably my 5th
Okay,
show.
okay. MGC? Wait, which
Yeah.
shows have you been to?
Expo,
Yeah.
MGC.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so tell me about some of the issues you had while designing this. You said there were...
Well, the tears part, I went through several different iterations of the playfield.
Okay,
You come with an idea, you find things that don't work, and you make some tweaks just so it can actually flow
yeah.
and whatnot. And then you start with like cutting everything by hand. Then you want to convert it to get cut by a CNC, so you have to like draw it. So that's like you convert something made by hand to an actual computer file, and that was a large challenge. And then you gotta make all the little doodads to go with it. And I don't know how to do that, so I had to learn. And then I did it. Success.
So you wrote, I'm guessing you wrote this before you put it into a physical table. Is that where you learned about some of this about you had to move it? No, you didn't write it before you put it in the
this
table?
is the third playfield.
Okay, third playfield.
So I
Okay.
started with the wood copy,
Okay.
all physical,
Okay.
flipped it, and then made tweaks along the way.
Okay. What's your favorite part about the design on the table that you have now?
I do like this shot up here, although the ramp is a ramp that exists already. There's 3 inline drop targets in the corner.
I saw that. That reminds me of like, what have I seen that in? Like maybe Centaur, there's a couple of drop targets?
Yes, that's
Okay.
very reminiscent of Centaur.
Oh, and this is a 2-ball multi-ball, isn't it?
3-ball.
3? Oh, okay. Okay, there was a, sorry. That
all
one was
good.
a 2-1. Okay. Okay.
If I were to redo something, I would redo my ramp so you can see it better. But this is a Star Trek ramp off the shelf, so I'll be able to make that work.
Oh, now that you say that, I'm just, yeah, okay. This is cool. Awesome. Okay. Okay.
So I think I like that aspect because it does feed the upper flipper then. And then you can then get your 2 shots. So it would help feed the upper flipper. As opposed to having orbits both ways.
Yeah, sure. Right. this is a very interesting, like a unique design. Skill shot. Is there a skill shot?
There is not.
Okay. And there's no ball save. So
Yeah.
this is really like
I don't know how to do programming, and that's my flaw in this. But I got flipping. I had some help on the way. I was able to get a multi-ball in. But if I were to redo some more stuff, I would add a plunger.
Uh-huh.
I could see a skill shot here.
Yep.
Let's do a skill shot here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Okay, so you said you don't do any programming. So then how did you get this to work? Tell me, like how is this, what do we have going on for this then? If you don't know programming, how did we get the picture? What do we have it running off
on
of?
Scott Denisi.
Okay.
He's my best friend.
Okay.
So yeah, he helped me a lot.
So are there any 3D printed parts on this table? Because I feel like I don't see anything really 3D printed.
Probably brackets underneath, but everything else is really off-the-shelf parts.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's very interesting because I was finding this going around this homebrew circle that I'm like, oh, Scott Denisi 3D printed this and then this, and you just said he was your best friend. Then I'm like, okay, so what's 3D printed? There's got to be something, right? That's really cool. Okay, so you had help with that for the visual aspect. So then how did you get like what you wanted come to life? Was it an easy thing to do? I mean, he's your best friend, so I guess it probably
It was not easy.
No?
Because he gave me a lot of hints along the way.
Okay.
And I had to bribe him, help me with one part of it. And it's hard. I can't program, but he was able to help me a lot to get to where it is. But I wasn't expecting him to help me more than what he got because he's a busy guy. So I'm real happy with him being able to help me as much as he did with my game.
Sure. Are you going to make any more pinball machines? Do you have plans for doing more?
Maybe. I have some ideas in my head.
Yeah.
But I haven't done anything with them yet. It's just to be determined. It is a lot of work.
So did you come up with like the table rules? Like how did you come up with that? Like what you wanted? I mean, you're a big fan of Castlevania. So this was kind of a passion project, right? Because like the spirit of Castlevania, the game itself. So what part, like how did you break down? Well, I guess I should ask, like, how are the modes on this table, or none? Okay, the flashing lights. I didn't know if it was like anything that went along with the game.
I have a light show in a track mode, and it needs code. It really needs code, but it's very stable where it's at. It flips well, and I have my multi-ball, and
No, if you get code though, do you have a storyline? Did you build how you want it
I don't
to
have
play
specific
out?
things, but like I would follow more like the second Castlevania game where you gotta go to different mansions to get the body parts of Dracula, reincarnate them to fight them, more or less. And so it'd be obviously like different modes, would be like ramp modes or something, or like pin orbits, and like I have some ideas for that too, but yeah. That's some small ideas on that. If I had someone help me with that, with programming, I'm sure I get input from them as well. So I even have like the captive ball there would be to collect the body part.
Right. Okay.
Well, so.
Okay. I was gonna ask because the captive ball. I'm like, what was that? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Can I give this a play? Yeah. Yeah.
Have it.
I don't know if you want to move this. I'm just looking at it. What made you pick 3 flippers? The design, I'm guessing.
I like having upper in orbits, very reminiscent of like Getaway. I like that, or Black Knight 2000, less the Richie kind of things.
Okay.
Where you keep looping.
So I noticed I noticed the wood cutouts right there. That was a clever. I like the design. I don't think I would have noticed that firsthand that it goes back behind there.
Well, it's the ramp I got. It's Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
So I had to make it work.
Okay.
That's how I did it.
Oh, okay. Star Trek, Iron Man. Yeah. Okay. Oh. And no ball save, so that's my ball. Do you want to?
to hear, but it does play Devo's Whipping with the ramps.
The lights designed on the table, like, sorry, I'll comment, sorry, after, yeah.
Thanks.
Not raised. I don't know how to. I don't really know the
lower
word.
profile LED.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's the word choice I meant to use. I really like that. I was staring at that and I'm like, I really like that. I think it looks pretty sharp. There we go. I at least kept the ball alive for a second.
There you go.
That's your ball save. I didn't hear the tilt. Never mind, it didn't stop working. Silly me.
Someone in the chat asked if the Stern flipper bags from Iron Man as well. Are they?
No, they're Williams flipper. The flipper bags or the...
Any of it?
No, it's not.
The toys that you have on the table, where did those come from? What's the story of those?
Those are just images from the video game.
Okay.
There's Death back there. There's Dracula. And this is Simon Belmont. I couldn't find a good image of Simon Belmont, so I found an action figure off the internet, and I pixelated him, and I had him printed on plastic and cut.
I like it. It looks nice. You did a good job. All right.
It'd be cool to have a little doll that actually has like a little arm that like whips.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah. How could you do that? Like, well, you'd probably get something totally different, but like you could do something with that. Could you put never mind. I'm just gonna. Yep. I was just kind of thinking. I'm like, I bet you could add a bit to that.
Like.
I knew it. I knew it. I didn't want to tilt like the last ball. I know.
Shimmy. It was fun to work on. I learned a lot on the way. You know, fun project.
How long did you say you worked on this? Did you say it was a couple of years? Was
2
it
years.
2 years? That's
Before
what I
I
thought.
shown
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Did you guys talk about the wood?
Oh yeah, actually, I don't think, yeah, I did earlier, but yeah, I don't think I did on, yeah. Yeah, okay, so yeah, tell us about this Castlevania, like the design, how did, what did you do? Yeah, moved it.
Yeah, so this is Castlevania 1's like main artwork. It's like really cool. And I took the logo off the Netflix series of Castlevania, put that on there. And took the whole image, and I had a laser burn to be what it is. But I didn't have a way to, that's kind of like how Scott did his Total Nuclear Annihilation. He had like back box made out of wood. I'm gonna do something similar, but cooler. So that's what I did.
Yeah, it's pretty. I wasn't sure how that was done, so.
And then this
cool.
is, I made this on my own design. I kind of tried to find something similar to what Stern's doing as far as the speaker grills, but also reminiscent of the classic Williams. So I made my own gradients here. And then this is the actual image from the game. I just changed the color scheme to match more.
Oh, so you changed the color scheme? Oh,
yeah, this would
cool,
normally be like bluish or something.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that looks nice. And did you like build a lot of I know you said you didn't do the programming or anything, but how much of this did you build? Wires or anything, putting it together like the guts?
I did all that.
You did do all that?
I did everything except some of the programming.
Okay, so like just the code itself, but you put everything together on the inside? Really? Okay, very cool. So what hardware is it running off of then?
It's running off P-Rock.
Okay, it's P-Rock?
Yes,
okay.
The framework is Skeleton Game.
Okay, Skeleton Game, yes, okay, yes. Yes, I've heard that a couple of times today. That's very cool. Oh, but you didn't do any of the coding, so I'm like, what speakers did you use? Did you say the table or anything?
There's same as what Stern uses.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing fancy. It's their stock speaker.
Did you ever have any wiring issues when you first put this together, and did you have to change any part on the design?
Yeah, when I transfer playfields over.
Yeah.
So my first playfield was by hand, but I had all mechs in there.
Okay.
So I transferred to a new playfield, but then I start adding stuff, and then the wiring is too short. So I gotta make extensions or reroute harnesses. So I added the pop bumpers. That wasn't there originally.
Okay.
And there's just the lights weren't there. That was just all wood. So I had lights, and like, okay, well I need to put light boards on there now and figure out where that goes. And the wiring gets tighter, the existing wire.
Yeah.
So you don't want to start over. It stinks to start over. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Very, very cool. It's a very cool table. I was playing this earlier, actually. Same. My goal for the day was getting the multi-ball. I mean, I love that you have the rules on that. So like that was my goal, and this is really, really cool. And I'm glad to hear the story behind it and everything. And it's cool. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, explaining this, showing this, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay.
Awesome. That was another great interview with Justin with Castlevania. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for your time. Beautiful game. You gotta get some modes in there, man. Look at this halo behind me. All right, that's it. We've been streaming for almost 6 hours of homebrew madness. Natalie's hiding. We're ready to take a break and get ready for some more pinball at Midwest Gaming Classic. I hope that y'all are here. The after party is about to start in 2.5 hours. And we have a fun little wacky pinball tournament set up for that with Fliptronic. So I'm going to go start working over there. And then we're all wheeling out one of each title of pinball machine to the after party to make it the best MGC after party yet. So it's been great. It's been a really good show. Love it here. Thank you, Turin. Thank you, Shell Slot. Why is your name so hard to pronounce for me? You named it that on purpose. Thank you, Acker Pinball, and everyone who hung out in the chat for this whole time. It's amazing. Oh, thank you, Acker Apple, for the cheers. Thank you so much. Much love to you. Um, if you missed the previous parts of the stream, they will be on our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Marco Pinball. I actually broke it up into 2 parts. So part 1 features Sonic Spinball, Undertale, and Motor City Taxi. And then part 2 is the Tap Open from Trilogy Brewing. I got that right this time. Sorry, Doug. And Castlevania, Dumpster Fire, and Ed Owens, Ghost in the Shell. There's someone standing behind me, right? I knew it.
Oh.
It's a delay. Anyways, MGC is streaming all of their events too on Twitch. So let's go ahead and raid them for everyone that's here on Facebook. And for everyone else, I hope you have a great weekend and we'll see you at the next pinball show. The next pinball show I am going to is Lodi, California's Golden State Pinball Festival. Very excited for that. TV MGC is live. Let's go check out what they're doing, all right? Okay. Oh, you like my braid? Yeah. Thanks, Den. See you guys later. Did it raid?